Hello and welcome to the Wizard's Tower. Today we're going to take a look at the Lord of the Rings Journeys into Middle-earth board game from Fantasy Flight Games. Before we do though, just a couple of quick things. I have a Twitter for the Wizard's Tower now. So if you're on Twitter, go follow at the Wizard's Tower, and I'll be using that to connect with you guys and put polls up and ask questions, and obviously when I post a video I'll pop it on there as well. I do have a Facebook page as well, but I don't actually like using Facebook that much because they're quite forceful with trying to get you to spend money on advertising. But Twitter seems to be much better, so if you're on Twitter, go follow me. The second thing I wanted to talk about is actually a shout out to quite possibly my youngest viewer, and that's Noah. He's stuck at home at the moment with chickenpox, so I hope you get well, buddy. And give your mum a kiss for looking after you. Right, with that out of the way, let's take a look at the Journeys into Middle-earth. Journeys into Middle-earth features a whole plethora of different game components, including the rules reference and learn to playbook. There are double-sided map tiles, various cards, tokens, and of course plastic figures. The game also requires an app which is free to download. You can either get it on the Google Play Store, the Apple App Store, or you can download it on Steam. Everything is handled by the app, which includes how to lay out the board. But that's enough about the components. Let's get to what I think about the game. So, The Lord of the Rings Journeys into Middle-earth. What do I think of it? I really like this game. It's the perfect blend of adventure and combat, and it's just a really enjoyable experience. Now, although there is combat, there isn't, like, you shouldn't just run around treating it like a dungeon crawler trying to kill everything. If you do that, you will do very poorly in the campaign. Speaking of which, this is a campaign game. There are no standalone adventures. Everything is app driven, including, like, you know, it runs how you place the map tiles, where you put monsters, it keeps a track of their, like, health and, you know, where secrets are, as well as a timer on how you're doing. And if you were to focus on just running around and killing things and trying to loot, that timer would run out and bad things happen. Now, if you've played any app-driven games, like, for example, Mansions of Madness from Fantasy Flight Games, you'll know what you're getting into here. The app-driven games like this are cooperative, but what they do is they replace the need for a games master and, like, putting the map out right from the get-go with an app that can spoon-feed you the information as you go through it. And it can also control monsters, and it provides sound effects. I mean, I really do enjoy Mansions of Madness and this game. There are a couple of downsides to app-driven games. No undo button is very frustrating, so that if you click, like, the wrong button, that's it, you're stuck with that choice. You've made a mistake, you can't go back and say, I didn't want to actually search that, I was trying to click exit, or whatever. Also, app-driven games are governed by the limitations of the technology you've got. So this app is available on tablets, phones and Steam, so on laptops and computers. But, for example, if that app decides to crash, or if you run out of battery at the wrong time, your game comes to a standstill. It's a board game, but it is reliant on that app. Without the app, you cannot play the game. It also means that sometimes if there's an update, you might go, hey, let's play, you know, Journeys into Middle-earth, and then be sat there for half an hour waiting for the app to update. This is especially true if it's on Steam, or if you are using a tablet and the OS, like your Android or Apple OS, decides, actually, I'd like to update now, and you're like, I guess we're not playing for an hour then. But that aside, as apps go, these are great, and it does make these games fully cooperative. As I mentioned, I love Mansions of Madness. I did have the first edition, well, I still do, because I can use the components with second edition. The problem with first edition was you needed a keeper, who was like a DM, like a games master. Whereas the second edition, with the introduction of the app, made it so that you didn't actually need that player to be the opponent. You could all work together towards the same goal. So something else that's interesting about this game, there are no dice. All sort of test resolution is done with this deck of cards. So there is an element to the game of deck building, in that you have a small deck of hero cards, you have a small deck of like basic cards, and then you have your class cards. So you can pick which class you're going to be, Pathfinder or Guardian or Captain. There's all these different classes, and you can mix and match. So like Bilbo should be a burglar. You could make him a Pathfinder or a Hunter if you wanted to. Now you shuffle all of those cards together with a weakness card, and these cards are just in there to be nothing. And when you are scouting, which is one way to draw cards, you would read the bulk of the card, like what it can do for you. But when it comes to test resolution, you have a look on your hero card, you look how much, like what your value is in that attribute, and then you draw that many cards. And up in the top left-hand corner of each card, there'll either be no symbol at all, a leaf symbol, which represents inspiration, or this symbol, which represents a success. And that is basically how you resolve tests. Let's say you're in combat, you need 2 to actually hit this thing. You would then look at the combat attribute, you would draw a number of cards, and as long as you've got enough successes, you actually hit. The inspiration, the leaf symbol, those can be converted into successes by spending inspiration tokens, which you gain throughout the game. There is also DLC for this game and expansions like you would expect. The DLC at the moment, there is just one piece, and it's a whole extra campaign to play through. There is a small box expansion, which is some extra miniatures and cards, and then there is actually a big box expansion which has just been announced, and it includes the Balrog and Gandalf. So, to summarise, what do I think of this game? I really enjoy it. I have had a lot of fun playing it. We've played through the main campaign twice now, and I've got the DLC, so I will play through that soon. I'm looking to get involved with that. I would recommend it to anyone that likes, well, if you enjoy dungeon crawls, you will enjoy this game. Just don't, go around trying to kill everything. Also, anyone that is a big Tolkien fan will enjoy this game, but be warned, they have taken the kind of established Tolkien lore and not so much thrown it out the window as just put it in the corner. So you will come across some bits that oppose what occurred in the books. For example, Aragorn, Gimli and Bilbo never went adventuring together, ever, if you were to go by kind of Tolkien Bible. But in this game, there are a few liberties taken. That doesn't mean that it's a bad game or that it'll annoy you too much, or at least it didn't for me, and I'm a huge Tolkien fan. So, that has been a very quick unboxing and review type discussion about the Lord of the Rings Journeys into Middle-earth. I hope you are all well, and if you like this video, give it a like, subscribe to the channel if you want to support me, and check out some of the other videos, and I will see you next week. Take care.